Today, we're diving into one of the biggest and maybe most misunderstood ideas out there, Nirvana. You've heard the word for sure, but what is it really? We're going to peel back the layers and get to the heart of what it truly means.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we'll look at the basic problem, what we could call the universal sickness. Then, we'll figure out what causes it. After that, we'll get to the cure, Nirvana itself. We'll explore how you even talk about something like this, the different stages of it, and finish up with the ultimate mystery at its core.
So before you can really appreciate the cure, you've got to understand the diagnosis. And the Buddha started his whole teaching not with a promise, but with a pretty blunt assessment of the problem of just, well, being alive.
He used this really powerful metaphor, burning. Think about that. He said our lives are literally on fire. You know, you've got the flames of getting old, getting sick, and then the internal fires, greed, anger, and just plain old confusion. It's a really intense image, and it's meant to be a wake-up call.
But here's the key thing. This isn't supposed to be depressing. It's actually the opposite. The idea is that once you see things for what they are, once you acknowledge that burning, that's when you get truly motivated to find a way to put out the fire for good. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. This isn't just some vague, life is tough kind of feeling. The Buddha was incredibly specific about what's fanning these flames. He pinpointed a single root cause. And that cause is one word, tanha. It's a Pali word that means thirst or craving. It's that constant nagging feeling inside of us, that itch we can never quite scratch. It's the thirst for pleasure, the desperate push away from pain, and the endless desire for life to be something other than what it is right now. And this just perfectly lays out the radical shift in thinking here. Our normal way of operating is to just chase the craving, right? If we just get that one more thing, then we'll be happy. But the Buddhist path says, hey, that's a rigged game, you can't win. The real freedom isn't in satisfying the thirst, it's in getting rid of the thirst itself. And on a much deeper cosmic level, this is about more than just feeling better today. This craving is what's said to generate karma and keep us stuck on the wheel of samsara, that whole cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. So if you can cut the root of craving, you stop the whole wheel from turning. So that brings us to the cure itself, Nirvana. If craving is the fuel for the fire, then Nirvana is what happens when that fire finally goes out. I mean, the name itself is the perfect metaphor, isn't it? Nirvana, or nibbana, in the older language, literally means to extinguish, like blowing out a candle. It's the total and complete snuffing out of those inner flames of greed, hatred, and delusion that cause us so much trouble. Now, this is a super important point and where a lot of people get it wrong. Nirvana isn't just nothing. It's not a black void. It's described as an actual existing ultimate reality, something you can experience for yourself once all the smoke from that fire clears away. It's not an absence, it's a totally different kind of presence. You know, to even try to talk about it, the Buddha had to use some pretty out there language. He called it things like the supreme Dhamma, the ultimate truth, and ayatana, a kind of dimension beyond the physical world we know, and maybe my favorite, the deathless element, a state that's totally beyond the reach of change and decay. He also described it as being unborn, unoriginal, unmade, and unconditioned. Now that's a bit of a mind-bender, but what it means is that nirvana isn't something you create or achieve. It's a reality you uncover. It's always been there, hidden underneath all the noise. Okay, so if nirvana is beyond everything we know, beyond our normal senses, beyond our normal thoughts, how in the world do you even begin to talk about it? Right? That's the challenge. How do you put words to something that is, by definition, beyond words? Well, the solution was pretty clever. You have to come at it from a few different angles using different types of language just to point in the right direction. And this table breaks it down really nicely. First, you've got negative terms, like the deathless or the unconditioned. They tell you what nirvana is not. Then you've got positive terms like supreme happiness or perfect bliss to show you why it's so desirable. And finally, you get these beautiful metaphors like the island or the shore, images of a place of total safety and peace, away from the chaos of the open ocean. Now, the path to this ultimate reality is actually understood to happen in two stages. And this is so important because it shows that nirvana isn't just some pie-in-the-sky idea for after you die.
So you've got nibbana with residue, which is what a fully enlightened person and arahant experiences while they're still alive and kicking. The residue is just their physical body. Then there's Nibbana without residue, which is what happens when that person passes away for the final time.
So what does this living liberation actually look like? Well, these are the qualities. We're talking about a mind that's filled with unshakable peace and a deep, genuine happiness. Someone who is totally fearless. They have this perfect equanimity, meaning they're not thrown off by life's ups and downs. Praise, blame, winning, losing, it's all the same to them. They are just completely and utterly free.
And this, of course, brings us to the ultimate question, the big one at the very heart of this whole journey, the final mystery.
Yeah, what happens when that liberated person, that arahant, finally passes away? Do they go somewhere? Do they just cease to exist? The answer is way more profound than a simple yes or no.
The Buddha basically said that both of those ideas, that you exist forever or that you're totally annihilated, are just wrong. They're concepts from our limited world that just don't apply. He used that fire analogy again. When a fire goes out, you can't ask, where did the flame go? It didn't go anywhere. The conditions that made it burn just aren't there anymore.
And this is the incredible image we're left with. The state of that liberated being is described as being deep, immeasurable, and unfathomable like the great ocean. It's not an answer you can wrap your head around. It's an invitation to just sit with a mystery as vast and as deep as the ocean itself. And it leaves us with a question, doesn't it? What would it feel like to be so free that you're beyond the limits of existence as we even understand it?